If you're building a brick wall and it begins to wiggle, you'd probably be pretty concerned, right? But historically, designing a wall with a bit of so-called crinkle crankle was actually some sort of genius engineering hack. Let me show you. If you build a straight brick wall that's only one layer thick, winds and forces will easily topple it over. You have to make it thicker or add additional support. But if you bend that single layer of brick into an undulating serpent shape, the geometry of the curve creates its own structural stiffness. In 18th century England, when the government heavily taxed bricks, builders in Suffolk used this exact trick to create rock-solid walls with less material. And that quirky historical reference is what's inspired this year's Serpentine Pavilion. Designed by Mexican studio Lanza Atelier, it's the first brick pavilion in the history of the yearly temporary project series. But where the historic walls were built to save money and retain strength, the contemporary version flips the script. The seemingly heavy boundary wall is used lightly, as more of a porous screen that lets dappled sunlight or evening glow through. And interestingly, because it's a temporary public structure, it doesn't use a drop of mortar. It has to come apart cleanly at the end of the summer. So how do you make this obscure idea totally safe for thousands of tourists? Well, the engineering team at AECOM designed this system where the stock bricks are threaded down onto vertical steel rods, alternating them face forward and back to front, and clamping the entire structure tight with these pre-stressed steel windposts. Essentially, it's a highly engineered architectural game of Jenga. The final result is a really characterful space where the walls create different areas for people to linger, and this lightweight roof overhead provides shelter and a really interesting quality of life. I honestly think you can question the rigor of the concept. It's the sort of idea that might have come through a simple Google search of the word serpentine. Also, the use of the brick in this way doesn't really make sense structurally. It all feels like a bit of a game, a bit of a stage set. But sometimes architecture is about playing games, especially for a temporary building that wants to bring a bit of joy into the world and gather people together. What do you think?